Lithium Australia's Adrian Griffin is back with me. Adrian, good to see you.
And you too, Andrew.
Adrian, Melbourne, of course, the location of your Envirostream battery recycling plant, that's in lockdown currently. What's the impact for you? What can you do?
Well, it's an interesting question in that electricity, gas, water and waste services are considered to be essential services. And of course, we fall into those categories. So we're operating as per usual for the time being.
Some results back, Adrian, since we spoke relating to the battery development work that's happening, co-funded by the Australian Growth Centre. Give us an update.
Yeah, certainly. That was all about looking at cheaper reagents for the inputs into the manufacture of batteries. And reagent costs account for probably better than 50% of the cost of the battery materials. Those costs vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And in the hope of making Australia much more competitive, the grant provides us with the ability to examine a number of raw material inputs into those batteries. So we've had a look at some of those so far, and they are being examined in the context of Australian supply to make Australia more competitive. And we've had a look at the ion input into lithium ferrophosphate batteries, LFP in particular. So we've looked at the ion inputs, trying to get the cost down there. We've looked at the lithium inputs, and not surprisingly, we've focused on the things that we can provide internally from Lithium Australia, and they are lithium sources developed from or derived from waste materials. Those waste materials might be mine waste or spent batteries. And I'm pleased to say that we've taken those materials right through to the production of test cells, and we've had no detrimental effect, no loss of performance whatsoever. So we have shown that you can use some of these materials that are cheaper inputs and probably get the cost of manufacturing those cells down by 20 to 30%. So I think that's a real coup, and that program is continuing into the rest of the calendar year.
Good to hear. And the cathode power division here, Adrian, that makes the components for lithium-ion batteries, you've announced a big milestone for this, so give us a bit more detail.
Yeah, we have. We've been researching the use of lithium phosphate for extracting lithium from solutions for some period of time, a number of years in fact, and we've done that in conjunction with ANSTO, the Australian Nuclear Science and Technology Organisation, and we've lodged patents for that particular process. And what that process does is extracts the lithium from relatively dilute solutions and gives us a lithium phosphate as a precipitate, which is then very easily refined. And you might say, well, so what? But the big advantage in doing that is to get the lithium out, you don't have to evaporate water. Lithium's very, very soluble. So once you've got it in solution, it's hard to get out, but phosphate gives you the avenue of doing that even in dilute solutions. And as a consequence, for processing lithium solutions, it gives you the ability to do so without having to evaporate the water, without having the capital cost of putting evaporators in, and without the necessity to put the energy cost in to evaporate that water. So we think this is a big winner, and it's creating a lot of interest.
Well, continued busy times. Adrian, what are you working on currently? What can we expect to hear from you next?
We've got a lot more on the lithium-ion battery front, and certainly on the recycling, and you'll see what we're going to do there from a point of view expanding those businesses as we move forward.
Good to see you. Adrian, thanks very much.
Thank you, Andrew.